Hi class, this is Dita. Can you believe it? It's week 3 already. So hopefully you're starting to navigate around. Of course, if you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to send me an email or have me review your papers or send me a text and we can have a conversation about it. We're just going to keep chunking away at this until we get this right. So let's start where we need to start. I put together this weekly deliverables right here. And this should help kind of consolidate what's due week after week after week. So I'm going to go ahead and do the weekly deliverable review. And we're going to actually come into this. So week 1, you should have done your introductions. You choose a topic. You should have had a conversation with me. That would have helped a lot. You should have your problem definition done. By Saturday at midnight, that should already be in. And you should post to at least 3 classmates. That was week 1, so people were really delaying getting into the forum. So I need for you guys to get into the forum and start talking to each other and asking each other questions and engaging. That's our community. That's how we try to orient ourselves and figure things out, okay? Don't be scared to ask stupid questions in there. That's the place to do it. You're not going to ever get uh, graded down for asking questions. Okay, so I'm looking in there and reading all the posts as well as looking at my text and things like that. So we're going to get this thing together. So anyway, so you should have your preliminary problem definition done by now. And that preliminary problem definition, we're going off of the academic, let me go back here. We're going off of this academic template right here. It's right on the home page. Bring that up and you're going to need to make sure to follow the format of that. Okay, so as we come back to the weekly deliverable, you should have come up with primary and secondary sources. Now, the annotated references, they're really a separate piece of paper that should have been put into the Dropbox. But here's how I operate. We're going to try to use that template for all of our assignments. So it's fine if you put, like Perry ended up putting his annotated references right in the reference section of the paper. That's fine. We're going to take the annotation out by the time that this paper is done, but I was able to give him a grade on that. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're just going to keep adding to that academic template. So for example, the Jesuit reflections. The Jesuit reflections can be put right in the reflections part of the paper and then just upload the full paper into the Dropbox, and that's fine. So in terms of what's due for week 2, you should have had your primary secondary sources, annotated references, your background and history. Now the background and history should be in tonight. This is Sunday night, okay? It says of week 3, but it's actually week 2. I can see who told me that. Brian, I think. So it's actually week 2. And so we need to get this done, this background and history of the problem, because it is actually in week 2. Let me save this real quick. Sorry if there was any confusion around that. And that background and history, it's really going to be about 2 pages. So if you have 4 sources, you're basically going to write a paragraph on each of those sources. And that's 2 pages. Now, every paragraph in this section needs to have an in-text citation. And if you have trouble with knowing how to do in-text citations, there's some really cool resources. One of them is actually called, what is it, a citation machine. And you can see right up here, a citation machine, and you can actually put in the magazine, newspaper, website, journal, film, other things, and it'll actually help you put together your sources. Now just remember that you're on the actual reference page, your sources are, the references are actually flush. The first line's flush with the margin, and then it's double spaced, and then it's 0.5 inches for every line after that. And you'll be getting those comments from me when I take a look at that. So background and history, 4 sources. So what's also due by tonight, midnight, end of week 2, should be this Jesuit reflection. Now, Here's the deal. All these reflections, why are we doing these Jesuit reflections and values in what seems to be a very academic class? Well, the purpose of these two classes is to springboard you into your next something. And one of the big benefits of coming to a Jesuit school is learning some of these core concepts about the kind of people and the kind of values that the Jesuits have. And no matter where you are in your faith, there's values around the Jesuits that just make sense. And for yourself, I am not going to grade you down as long as it's authentic and it's meaningful and it's at least one page. Okay. So one of the ways to do this is to spend 5-10 minutes just kind of reflecting on the topic, men and women for others, and then try to think of how you've an example in your own life around, is that important? Is that not important? And it doesn't matter to me whether it's positive or negative. It just matters that it's authentic and it's real and it's yours, okay? This is not a section that I want academic verbiage. I'm really looking for the core of who you are, because we're going to try to reflect and go deeper. Learning happens when we're able to reflect on it and then apply it. So one of the things about Jesuit reflections, men and women for others, is that, hey, when it's hard, do you consider other people? You know, are you somebody that is that you consider to be outside of yourself? And have you ever had an experience where maybe somebody went outside of themselves to pay attention to you? So it works both ways. We'll talk more about the Jesuit reflections as we get going here. Okay, discussion forum. If you're not in the discussion forum, Jill, hello, get in there. Discussion forum, research design. We're going to have, there's a couple of questions in there you need to respond to. You guys are doing a pretty good job so far. And then we have this research design strategy section that's approximately 1 page long that you need to start taking a look at. Okay, also by midnight. All right, week 3 coming up here. Discussion forum, 2 to 3 milestones. Okay, to get us kind of going on that. Post them in the discussion forum, and then read and respond to at least 3 classmates as best you can about their milestones. And then go into your paper, and you're going to need to actually fill out your milestones. So let's take a look at the example paper. Milestones. All right, so you should have a pretty clear idea of your deliverable. You should have a pretty good idea now in terms of what are the big steps. You've got 4 weeks in capstone to actually do this research. So what are the big rocks? So in the objective 1, this is a main group of work that needs to be done by you based off of your research. So what is it? And then tell me the implementation steps that that's going to take. And it has to be based off of SMART rules. Have you ever heard of that? SMART. It's specific and measurable, etc., etc. So the objective 1 will be met when, you know, so it's detailed enough to where we'll be able to recognize that. Please let me know if you have any questions on this. This is just outlining essentially in very specifically the steps that you're going to take in capstone. And I'm going to be really picky about this section of this. It says, you know, 1 page, 2 pages, but if you look at the example papers, they can be 10, 12 pages long. I want you to just really get this clear in your head, what you're actually going to do in capstone. So I will be getting back to you if it's not robust enough, guaranteed. If you do this part right here, then your timeline will come into play very easily, because we're going to take these steps right here and we're going to just chunk them right into the steps in your timeline. You're actually going to use this in capstone to say, oh, this is what I got to do day 1. This is what I got to do day 5. This is what I got to do. So it's really kind of outlining your research and all the steps that you need to take in order to create your deliverable at the end of capstone. Okay. These 2 sections right here, the timeline and the objective, is the heart and soul of this class. And so please let me know if you have any questions at all around that piece. Okay, let me come back here to weekly deliverables. What else? Okay, so We've got discussions in the discussion forums. We're going to ignore this sampling for fun. We got enough work to do. Participants in the study, and that's it. So pretty much, I want you to really hold the focus this week on the milestones or the objectives, and be very, very specific around that in terms of getting that chunked into your timeline. Okay, I know it basically says, where is it? Oh, I went past it, 2 or 3 milestones, but that's incredibly weak in my opinion. Yeah, draft 2 or 3 milestones. Oh yeah, put that using examples. That's what's going to go into the forum. But in your paper, I want this to be really robust, okay? I want every little step of the things you're going to do. Okay, so 2 or 3 in the forum, and then really nail the milestones and the timeline this week. Okay, I look forward to reading any questions that you have, and seeing how you're going to play this thing out this week. All right, good luck, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.